The scent of expensive perfume, a scent I hadn't bought her, clung to the air like a shroud, confirming my suspicions. Lisa breezed in, 2 hours later than expected from her shopping trip, a flimsy excuse I'd swallowed for weeks. Her smile faltered when she saw me sitting in the living room, the lamplight illuminating the single sheet of paper in my hand, her credit card statement. "Hey, honey," she chirped, her voice a little too high, a little too bright. The designer shopping bags she clutched seemed to mock me, the glossy surfaces reflecting my own grim reflection. I held up the statement. "Care to explain this, Lisa?" Her smile vanished. The blood drained from her face, leaving her looking like a porcelain doll, fragile and easily broken. Her knees buckled, and she sank onto the sofa, the bags spilling onto the floor, their contents, a silk scarf, a pair of Italian leather shoes, suddenly obscene in their extravagance. I can explain," she stammered, her eyes darting around the room as if searching for an escape route. "Try me," I said, my voice surprisingly calm, but quiet before the storm. The lies tumbled out, clumsy and unconvincing. A gift for her sister, a misplaced decimal, a billing error. Each lie chipped away at the last vestiges of trust I had left. We'd been married for 10 years, a decade I thought was built on solid ground. Now, it felt like quicksand, sucking me under. The $500 dinner at Le Fleur. "Your sister must have expensive taste," I said, the sarcasm dripping from my words. Le Fleur was a notoriously romantic restaurant. We'd celebrated our anniversary there 2 years ago. The memory now felt tainted, a cruel joke. "It was a business dinner," she stuttered, her eyes welling up. "Business dinner with whom, Lisa?" I asked, my voice rising. The anger, a simmering pot for weeks, was now boiling over. Her silence was a deafening confession. I knew. I'd known for weeks, the late nights, the hushed phone calls, the new perfume. I'd even hired a private investigator, the final nail in the coffin of our dying marriage. I had pictures, dates, times. I had everything. "His name is Emmett, isn't it?" I said, the name tasting like ash in my mouth. Emmett, her colleague, the one she'd been working late with. She burst into tears, a pathetic display of remorse that came far too late. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "It just happened." "Happened," I repeated, incredulous. "Infidelity doesn't just happen, Lisa. It's a choice, a deliberate, selfish choice." The following weeks were a blur of anger, hurt, and the agonizing process of untangling our lives. The house, once our sanctuary, became a battleground. Every shared photograph, every piece of furniture, every memory became a painful reminder of what we had lost. But amidst the wreckage of my marriage, a cold, hard resolve began to solidify. I wouldn't let them win. I wouldn't let them walk away unscathed. Lisa's tears and apologies wouldn't erase the betrayal. I started with the divorce proceedings, ensuring she got next to nothing. Our prenup, signed in the naive bliss of early love, protected me financially, a cruel irony I now embraced. Then came the masterpiece of my revenge. I found Emmett. It wasn't hard, he was brazen, flaunting his affair with Lisa like a trophy. I waited for him outside his office one evening, the city lights casting long shadows as I leaned against my car, a predator waiting for its prey. He emerged, hand in hand with Lisa, their laughter echoing in the deserted street. The sight of them together, so carefree, so oblivious to the storm that was about to break, fueled my rage. I stepped out of the shadows, blocking their path. Lisa gasped, her face paling. Emmett, cocky and arrogant, stepped forward. "Is there a problem?" he sneered. "You could say that," I replied, my voice low and menacing. I held up a thick envelope, its contents the meticulously documented proof of their affair, photos, emails, hotel receipts. "What the?" Emmett stammered, his bravado crumbling. "I believe this belongs to you," I said, shoving the envelope into his chest. "I've also sent a copy to your wife, Emmett. And your boss. And the board of directors." Lisa let out a strangled cry. Emmett's face contorted with rage and fear. He lunged at me, but I sidestepped him easily. "Don't bother," I said, my voice laced with contempt. "You've already destroyed yourself." I watched as their world crumbled around them. Lisa's sobs echoed in the night as Emmett frantically tried to explain, to justify, to salvage the wreckage of his life. It was a beautiful symphony of destruction, a masterpiece of revenge. I walked away, leaving them to their implosion, the city lights reflecting in my eyes, not with anger, but with a strange sense of peace. It wasn't closure, not exactly. But it was a start. The pain wouldn't vanish overnight, but the knowledge that they wouldn't escape the consequences of their actions was a balm to my wounded soul. The following months weren't easy. There were moments of crippling loneliness, of questioning my own role in the demise of my marriage. But with each passing day, the pain lessened, replaced by a quiet strength. I started rebuilding my life, brick by painful brick. I focused on my work, reconnected with old friends, and rediscovered passions I'd long forgotten. The memory of Lisa and Emmett, of their betrayal and its aftermath, would always be a part of me. But it no longer defined me. It was a chapter in my life, a painful one, but ultimately, a chapter that had ended. And as I turned the page, I knew, with a certainty that settled deep in my bones, that I would be okay. More than okay. I would be better, stronger, free.